Twinkle Toes gets the microphone and turns into another phony circle jerk party. Again, this time, I don't know whether it was because he was blowed up or he affects these mannerisms, but he was speaking like a space alien who just heard humans for the first time.
He doesn't speak in a natural way on the mic.
So anyway, he's about to tell everybody good night. And wait, there's music. Here comes Adam Cole. And okay, well, we've solved this mystery. We figured he was coming anyway. Now he's here. But wait a minute. Why is he coming alone for 6 people? He gets in the ring. The heels are shitting. Adam Cole is over. And then he super kicks Jungle Boy and hugs the Elite. And he gets kissed on the cheek by the Cucamonga Kids. So now they've ruined Adam Cole for me. He's joined the Elite. That means if I have to watch Adam Cole, I have to make the decision of whether I'm going to suffer the presence of the rest of these assholes. And I don't know whether even my love of Adam Cole can get me to do that.
I'm sure he'll do some great stuff there.
But he's already one of the boys.
He was before. I mean, again, this is just him going back to what he was doing before WWE. These were his boys beforehand.
No.
He was doing skits with them. They were kissing him. All this stuff was happening.
They've not only gave a surprise entrance, but they didn't leave any secrecy about where he was going, and they've made him, I'm talking, one of the boys. Not one of the Elite. He's one of the boys. CM Punk isn't one of the boys yet. There's the rest of this roster, and there's CM Punk. And another guy we're about to talk about here in a second. Nothing bad's happened to him yet. He may still be above the fray. He's not one of the boys yet. They've made Adam Cole one of the boys. He's joined a group already, so now he's one of the boys. He's not a major outsider acquisition. He's fit right in, and he's one of the boys. And that diminishes his aura right from the start, to me.
How would you have brought him in?
Well, if he has to be with his friends, that doesn't mean you have to tell everybody how it's going to happen that night. I'm not going to rebook this whole goddamn thing, because for one thing, all these fucking surprise entrances on top of one another, I might have spread this out a bit. But you could have easily had Adam Cole come out and have anything non-physical with people, stare downs, whatever, you don't know what's going on, and then do the angle on free television where over 1 million people will see it instead of 100 or 200,000. But nevertheless, he gets kissed by the Cucamonga Kids and more music. It's the flight of the Bumblebee or the ride of the Valkyries. And here comes Bryan Danielson, and now the people go batshit. I don't know if I do all these at the same time, because there's going to come a time where they're going to run out of entrances of people that people go batshit for because they didn't expect or they didn't know when they were showing up or whatever. But here, this batshit tops the last batshit, and Bryan Danielson goes in and picks up the baby faces, and they all look at the heels, and they all get in a fight. And Danielson shit got all the reaction, and everybody else was just taking up space. So I'm glad that both those guys are there. As I said, I'm concerned about the company that Adam Cole's going to be keeping. And boy, this definitely was a surprise-filled pay-per-view, but are they starting to put these just one on top of another quickly just for the sake of having these great entrances? Are they going to run out of them when they run out of people to do them?
Well, they'll certainly run out of them. There are a few more they could have in the future, in the immediate future, and we'll see as contracts come up, but everyone's pointing to Bray Wyatt. The Adam Cole thing, I guess if you were going to debut him here, you had to debut Daniel Bryan here, or Bryan Danielson here, because as soon as Adam Cole came out and people like him, they were chanting yes earlier in that night. They thought Bryan Danielson was going to be there. Any other surprise at the end of the night was going to be a letdown. So as soon as Adam Cole came out, you had to have Bryan Danielson there too. So you might as well. So if you weren't going to do this, you had to hold Adam Cole back until New York or whatever.
I don't know how you can say it's a letdown when you get Ruby Soho for people who like that kind of thing. It's the kind of thing those people like as a surprise. You get CM Punk's return, and you get Adam Cole showed up, and they've still got a stadium show in New York.
Because
I thought for sure
leaked.
that would be.
The problem is the word leaked. As soon as word got out that AEW was thinking about debuting him in Chicago, they had to debut him there. They would have had people leaving upset, despite all the, I agree with you, CM Punk and all these surprises.
So you're saying they've worked themselves into the same corner that Paul Heyman worked himself into in ECW when people started expecting surprises, and then he had to go out and find surprises.
Yes, although so far it's worked a lot better for Tony Khan than it has for Paul Heyman. Yeah.
Well, anyway, that was the thing there. I mean, it was one of the better AEW shows overall, just for all the shock, the great crowd, the surprises, Punk's match. But Punk's match was so different because it was the only wrestling match they had.
And well, to an extent, although I expressed my problems with various things, I think Jericho and MJF actually would classify.
Well, all right. I shouldn't say that. Jericho and MJF was a wrestling match. It was just one guy was in quicksand.
Yeah.
But, okay, a high-level wrestling match, that's different now on their shows because everybody else does the same shit. So if they could actually get some guys, and they've got a few here now, that can work and have these matches, then if they allow them to have wrestling matches instead of the stunt shows, then that'll up the quality of the program. But then here's the thing. I don't know who'll see through who. Will any fans that Adam Cole and CM Punk and Bryan Danielson brings to this show, will they enjoy the matches that these guys are having, and will they see through the performances of the rest of the indie talent on the card? Or because the indie fans that like that indie talent were there first and make up the majority of this fan base, will they not get into the actual professional matches that the new talent has and think that they're slow and dull? So which side's going to see through who first?
Without it happening yet, knowing some of the people there, you are going to hear people complaining about the slower style of the guys that come out of WWE, whether it's fair or not. You will hear that. But we've talked about it with the CM Punk segment. That was a great segment. What's before it and after it is part of the problem. This may have been their best pay-per-view. And it had such excitement, and people now are really looking forward to seeing what's next. People are looking forward to see what's next with Punk, with Bryan Danielson. I mean, there's so many question marks coming out of it. The momentum we talked about AEW having a few weeks ago, it feels like it's only gone up.
Oh, it's yes. And I mean, it's almost like Vince is unaware.
Is he alive? Is Vince alive? Has anyone seen a breathing Vince McMahon?
Vince McMahon, unbeknownst to himself, is taking a dive in this thing. He doesn't even realize it, that he's handing it over to him. This is not like 20 whatever years ago with WCW, which was, they got a few jumps at the start on people just because Vince hadn't had his contract situation ducks in a row because he had never needed to. So nobody wanted to go the other way. But that was a dogfight. This is just, he's being pummeled by self-inflicted wounds and letting people go and allowing them to show up there and doing a boring, crummy, nonsensical, juvenile program. And the one that was a little bit different than that, NXT, he's fixing to take that over and make that boring, juvenile, and simple as well.
And the guy who was one of the top stars, if not the top star there, is now on the other show on Wednesday nights.
There you go.
So
a couple.
But if you were watching that show from the beginning on Wednesday nights and Adam Cole was one of the main people, and all of a sudden the show's not on Wednesday nights, but Adam Cole still is.